After weeks of deadlock, the U.S. Senate has finally greenlit a staggering $914 billion defense policy bill, but not without sparking fierce debates that could reshape how America defends itself and spends your tax dollars. Here's the kicker. This isn't just about numbers. It's about priorities, power, and who gets to decide how the world's largest military operates. In a rare display of bipartisanship, senators voted 77-20 to advance the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, for fiscal year 2026, ending a month-long stalemate over amendments. But here's where it gets controversial. While the bill paves the way for House and Senate negotiators to reconcile their versions, it also exposes deep divides on everything from foreign aircraft retrofits to drone threats and even the role of the National Guard. And this is the part most people miss. Earlier today, Senate Armed Services Committee, SASC Chairman Roger Wicker, RMIS, issued a stark warning. Delaying the vote any further would force a small group of senators to draft the bill behind closed doors, bypassing the Senate floor entirely. That's not how democracy should work, he declared, urging immediate action. His plea worked, but the amendments that followed ignited fireworks. One of the most heated debates centered on a failed amendment by Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, which aimed to block FY26 funds from modifying a Boeing 747 donated by Qatar for use as Air Force One. Schumer argued retrofitting this luxury jet would waste hundreds of millions in taxpayer money. But Republicans countered that the amendment could jeopardize the Air Force's Survivable Airborne Operations Center program, which relies on similar aircraft. Is this a case of fiscal responsibility or short-sighted policy? You decide. Republicans also shot down Democrat-led proposals to restrict National Guard deployments without a governor's approval and to impose stricter limits on military law enforcement collaboration. These rejections highlight the ongoing tension between federal authority and state rights, a debate that's far from over. However, it wasn't all partisan gridlock. Senators Tom Cotton, Arkansas, and Kirsten Gillibrand, Democrat, NY, teamed up to pass an amendment expanding the Defense Department's authority to counter drone threats near military bases. Gillibrand pointed out, hundreds of drones have been spotted near sensitive sites like Langley Air Force Base, yet current laws leave us dangerously exposed. Cotton added that the measure would close legal loopholes and streamline military response. Another bipartisan win, an amendment to delay B-1 bomber retirements until FY30, ensuring no gap between the B-1's phase-out and the B-21 Raiders deployment. Senator John Cornyn, Representative, called it a common-sense move to maintain readiness. As the bill heads to conference, lawmakers must tackle two big-ticket issues: acquisition reform and the Senate's $32 billion budget increase over the Pentagon's request. Here's the real question. Will this higher spending level set a precedent for future defense budgets, or is it a one-time exception? The NDAA doesn't allocate funds directly, but its final price tag could sway upcoming spending debates, especially with the Senate Appropriations Committee already pushing for a $22 billion boost. As negotiations heat up, one thing is clear. This bill isn't just about defense. It's about defining America's role in an increasingly volatile world. What do you think? Is $914 billion too much, too little, or just right? Let's hear your take in the comments.